The United States has the largest economy in the world, but it also carries the largest national debt in absolute terms. If the world moves away from the US dollar as the global reserve currency, that $39 trillion debt will become a massive problem. What you're watching right now is the money printing machine in action. In this video, I'll show you exactly how new dollars are created out of thin air, and why every new dollar they print makes the money in your wallet worth less. This is the Bureau of Engraving and Printing in Fort Worth, Texas, the facility responsible for printing more than half of all US dollars in circulation. On average, the Fort Worth facility prints more than $29 million worth of US currency every hour, adding up to hundreds of millions of dollars every single day. This yellow bag you're looking at contains banknotes worth $1.6 million, and this entire pallet is worth over $38 million. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing has been running non-stop as the U.S. government struggles under nearly $39 trillion in national debt. These days, America feels more like a corporation than a country. Printing money to help manage debt isn't new. What is unprecedented is the scale. Nearly 40% of all U.S. dollars in existence were created in just the last few years. Well, they call it the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. FW on a dollar bill indicates it was printed at the Fort Worth facility. Many of the bills you have at home likely came from this very printing plant. As you can see, the process begins with designing new banknotes. Experts in design, security, and history all work together during this stage. It starts with simple sketches of the front and back of the bill. Those sketches are then developed into detailed full-color designs. The designs go through multiple rounds of review and revision before they are approved. Depending on the complexity and the security features involved, this entire process can take up to 3 years. Once the designs are finalized, the bills are printed in large quantities based on demand. US currency is not made from ordinary paper. Instead, it uses a special blend of 75% cotton and 25% linen, giving every bill its unique texture and durability. Right now, you're watching massive paper rolls being aligned and prepared for the next stage of the production process. It takes about 8 days to produce a US dollar bill, from raw paper to a finished note ready for circulation. Someone once said that America isn't the richest country in the world. It's just where the richest people live, and you're probably not one of them. So be sure to let me know what you think in the comment section below the video. As you can see right now, most of the workers in this factory are mainly responsible for monitoring operations and operating the printing machines. Now comes one of the most important stages in making US currency, intaglio printing. This high-security printing method gives banknotes their sharp detail, unique texture, and makes them extremely difficult to counterfeit. The designs are engraved into steel plates. An engraver uses a sharp tool or a specialized machine to etch the design into the surface of the plate. This engraving process is incredibly precise and detailed, allowing for fine lines, text, and images with remarkable clarity. The engraving is done in reverse. When ink is applied to the plate, the design is printed correctly onto the bill. Every bill is carefully inspected for defects like smudges, ink misalignment, or missing security features. Even small imperfections in the intaglio printing process can expose counterfeit bills, making this one of the most important security features in US currency. Each printing plate can apply only one color at a time, which is why multiple plates are needed to create the final design. While some people casually refer to this process as painting, US currency is actually produced using a sophisticated mix of layered printing techniques and precision color application. However, US dollars are not hand-painted. They're produced using a sophisticated combination of traditional printing methods and advanced modern technology. On this palette, you can already see sheets of banknote paper prepared and ready for the next stage of production. You're now watching banknote paper being processed and prepared to be cut into individual bills. There are only two places in the United States where U.S. banknotes are produced, one in Fort Worth, Texas, and the other in Washington, D.C. Bills printed in Fort Worth can be identified by a small marking on the note.
The U.S. government doesn't directly decide how many bills get printed. That's determined by the Federal Reserve, which sets the demand. It then issues orders to the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, which handles the actual production of the currency.
Employees at this government agency must follow strict safety and security procedures at all times. More than 60% of U.S. currency circulates outside the United States, making the U.S. dollar one of the most widely used currencies in the world. Each U.S. bill carries a unique serial number used for identification. It typically consists of 8 digits, along with a 2-letter prefix that indicates the Federal Reserve District where the bill was issued. Once the paper is produced, it moves through the printing phase, followed by cutting, sorting, and finally packaging for distribution to Federal Reserve banks. After drying, large sheets are trimmed into smaller, precisely sized sheets ready for printing. Before printing begins, every sheet undergoes strict quality control. Its weight, texture, and embedded security features are carefully checked, and any sheet that doesn't meet standards is removed from production. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing can produce roughly 8,000 sheets of currency per day, with each sheet yielding 32 individual bills, amounting to around 250,000 notes daily. To put the scale into perspective, 1 ton of $100 bills is worth approximately $95 million, highlighting just how much currency circulates in the global economy. Believe it or not, in 1930, 8 movie tickets cost just $1. By 1960, a dollar could buy you about 5 hamburgers, and even as recently as 2000, a gallon of gas averaged around $1. This is a clear illustration of how the US dollar, like all currencies, gradually loses purchasing power over time. Unfortunately, this long-term process is a global reality. Higher denomination bills also tend to last longer in circulation simply because they're used less frequently than smaller notes like $1 bills. These production facilities are highly secure environments monitored by advanced surveillance systems. Cameras cover vaults, warehouses, and transport routes, ensuring continuous oversight of currency storage and handling. The workforce behind U.S. currency production is substantial, with around 1,500 employees and contractors across the Washington, D.C. and Fort Worth facilities. Although a growing share of Americans now rely less on cash for everyday spending, more than $2 trillion in U.S. currency is still in circulation. Before entering circulation, every bill passes through strict inspection using specialized cameras and software. This final quality control step ensures that only flawless, fully compliant currency makes it into the public system. Each U.S. bill contains red and blue security fibers embedded randomly throughout the paper, adding an additional layer of protection against counterfeiting. While the $1 bill includes a more basic set of security features, Higher denominations incorporate increasingly advanced safeguards. These include subtle background tints, watermarks that become visible when held to light, and color-shifting ink that changes appearance when tilted. Large rolls of specially produced banknote paper are used to print billions of notes. The signature green color of U.S. currency was originally chosen because green ink was widely available and resistant to fading, making it both practical and difficult to reproduce. U.S. banknotes are made primarily from a blend of cotton and linen, which gives them durability and a distinct feel. In contrast, countries such as Canada and Australia use polymer notes, which are even more durable and offer enhanced security against counterfeiting. Workers in these facilities are trained to operate highly specialized equipment that applies the intricate designs to the paper. Their role is to carefully monitor and manage each stage of the printing process to ensure accuracy and consistency. The $1 bill also contains symbolic elements, including details from the Great Seal. For example, the eagle holds an olive branch in one talon and 13 arrows in the other, representing peace and strength. The $100 bill features some of the most advanced security elements, including a blue 3D security ribbon woven into the design for added protection. Since 1955, all U.S. notes must include the phrase, "In God We Trust," and portraits on bills must legally feature deceased individuals. It is often necessary to transport huge amounts of cash. Dunbar Armored is one of the companies that provides armored transport services for U.S. currency and other valuables, including U.S. dollar paper money. You're now looking at the Cash Services Department at the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland, where roughly 800,000 banknotes are processed every day. When banks deposit excess cash, Federal Reserve staff unload it and feed the notes into high-speed sorting machines. These machines verify authenticity, detect counterfeits, and determine whether each bill is still fit for circulation. At the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland, older records show that shredded currency was once recycled into paper products, processing about 1,500 pounds a day. In some cases, Federal Reserve banks have also repurposed shredded bills for uses like compost, insulation, or novelty items such as piggy banks, filled with shredded notes depending on local programs. Bills that pass inspection are bundled and returned to circulation alongside newly printed currency to meet demand from financial institutions. Severely damaged or mutilated currency is sent to the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, where the Mutilated Currency Division verifies its authenticity and, if possible, issues reimbursement. The notes are printed slightly larger than their final size and then precisely trimmed to create clean, uniform edges on every bill. Some security features in U.S. currency are kept confidential, and even employees are typically only familiar with a specific part of the process they work on. In times of economic crisis, central banks may increase the money supply to stimulate the economy. Critics argue that excessive money printing can weaken purchasing power and increase inflation, while supporters believe it helps stabilize financial systems during emergencies. The average wage for workers at this factory is just under $40 an hour. Their responsibilities include loading materials, overseeing production, and operating and maintaining the printing equipment. Right now, you're watching banknote paper being processed for euro bills. The production process is very similar to that of US dollars, but the banknotes differ in many important ways. Unlike US bills, which are all the same size, Euro notes vary in size depending on denomination and use a wide range of colors to make them easier to distinguish. Euro bills feature architectural designs such as bridges and windows, while US currency mainly displays portraits of historical figures and national symbols. Euro banknotes also include more visible modern security features like holograms and metallic strips, whereas US bills rely heavily on intaglio printing, watermarks, color-shifting ink, and security ribbons. Although both currencies use cotton-based paper, the texture and coatings of Euro notes differ by series. Another major difference is production. Euros are printed by multiple central banks across Europe, while US dollars are produced in only 2 facilities in the United States. Euro notes are also designed with stronger accessibility features for visually impaired users, including different sizes and raised markings. In contrast, modern US bills still maintain a very similar overall look and color scheme across denominations. Producing a single Euro banknote costs between 6 and 10 cents on average. That cost includes specially treated cotton paper, high precision printing, and advanced security features designed to prevent counterfeiting. If a note gets accidentally damaged, it can usually be exchanged at a bank as long as most of the bill is still intact. These Euro banknotes are printed only at highly secure facilities approved by the European Central Bank. Currently, 12 printing facilities across Europe are authorized to produce Euro currency, with every stage of production operating under strict security and constant monitoring. Unlike ordinary paper, Euro banknotes are made from pure cotton fiber instead of wood pulp. This gives the bills their unique texture and makes them far more durable, allowing them to survive years of heavy circulation. Higher denominations, especially the 100 euro note, are built to last and are increasingly used during times of high inflation and economic uncertainty. Throughout the entire manufacturing process, quality control is critical. Workers continuously inspect the paper thickness, print alignment, and ink precision to ensure every note meets exact standards. As you can see right now, inspectors use powerful magnification equipment to carefully examine every printed detail and ensure each banknote meets strict quality standards. Even the smallest flaw can cause a note to be rejected and destroyed. Every year, between 6 and 8 billion euro banknotes are printed to meet demand and replace worn-out currency. After printing, the large sheets are cut into individual bills by fully automated cutting machines. The finished banknotes are then counted, stacked, and packed by robotic systems designed for maximum speed, precision, and security. Once packaged, the boxes are sealed, labeled, and loaded onto pallets for distribution to central banks across Europe. From there, the notes enter circulation and become part of everyday transactions across the euro area. Inside a euro banknote factory, employees handle billions of euros in value every single day. Yet until the notes officially enter circulation, they are treated simply as highly secured products rather than legal currency. After printing, the banknotes are stored in heavily protected vaults or prepared for shipment to central banks across Europe and around the world. Transport can take place by road, sea, or air under strict security measures. Before packaging, the notes are inspected and counted once again. They are then wrapped in sealed plastic film and packed into sturdy containers for safe and efficient transport. Quality control is constant throughout the entire production process. Random sheets are repeatedly checked for consistency, print precision, and even the smallest defects, while automated counting systems ensure that no discrepancies occur at any stage. One of the most important steps is the printing of serial numbers. Specialized machines apply unique serial numbers to every banknote, ensuring consistent formatting across millions of notes. These serial numbers use advanced ink with color-shifting pigments. When tilted under light, the numbers change from emerald green to dark blue, an important security feature that helps verify authenticity. Security inside these facilities operates at the highest level. Employees undergo extensive background checks and continuous monitoring to prevent theft or unauthorized access. Every euro banknote also carries a unique identity made up of letters and numbers. The first letter of the serial number identifies the printing facility where the note was produced, allowing each bill to be traced back to its origin. The euro has gone through noticeable pressure in recent years due to higher inflation across the euro area, especially after global supply chain disruptions and energy price spikes. While the design of euro banknotes hasn't changed dramatically, their usage patterns have shifted. Higher inflation has led to more frequent use of larger denominations like 50 euros and 100 euros, as everyday purchases became more expensive and cash transactions required higher values. One interesting fact is that despite inflation, the European Central Bank has not introduced new higher value banknotes since the 500 euro note was discontinued for issuance, though it still remains legal tender. This has made the existing banknotes more heavily relied upon in high-value cash transactions. Another notable change is the growing shift toward digital payments. In many euro area countries, inflation and rising prices accelerated the move away from cash, especially for small purchases. However, paradoxically, during periods of economic uncertainty and inflation, cash usage sometimes increases again as people view physical money as a safer store of value. The Euro banknote series itself has also evolved. The Europa series introduced improved security features such as holograms, color-changing numbers, and enhanced watermarks to stay ahead of counterfeiting, which tends to become more sophisticated during times of economic stress. Inflation has also indirectly influenced how long banknotes stay in circulation. Lower value notes like 5 euros and 10 euros wear out faster because they are used more frequently, leading to constant replacement cycles by the European Central Bank and national central banks. Finally, despite inflation concerns, the euro remains one of the most stable major currencies globally, and its banknotes are designed with long-term durability in mind. Each note is expected to withstand years of circulation even under heavy economic pressure. New euro banknotes are distributed across Europe through a tightly coordinated system led by the European Central Bank together with the national central banks of the euro area. The ECB itself does not physically ship cash. Instead, it sets the overall framework for how much currency should be in circulation across the Eurozone. The actual planning and logistics are handled by each country's national central bank, such as the Bundesbank in Germany or the Banque de France. Each year, banks and financial institutions submit cash demand forecasts based on seasonal needs, economic activity, tourism, and historical usage patterns. These forecasts help determine how many new banknotes are needed and where they should be delivered. Once produced at accredited printing facilities, euro banknotes are transported under extremely strict security conditions. Transfers usually happen by armored vehicles, secured cargo flights, or sealed logistics convoys, depending on distance and volume. The routes and schedules are highly confidential to prevent interception or theft. After production, Banknotes are first sent to national central bank vaults. From there, they are distributed to commercial banks based on demand. Commercial banks then supply ATM, businesses, and cash handling centers, which ultimately puts the money into everyday circulation. I hope you enjoyed learning about the facts and processes behind printing US and Euro banknotes. Now, let's shift gears and take a closer look at how US coins are made. Modern coins are made from carefully selected metals such as zinc, nickel, copper, and aluminum. These materials arrive at the mint as long metal strips, which are fed into massive blanking presses that punch out thousands of perfectly round discs destined to become coins. Today, the United States operates 4 active mints: Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and West Point. Each facility specializes in different types of production, from everyday circulation coins to proof and commemorative editions. The Philadelphia Mint is the largest of them all. With more than 60 coin presses operating at full capacity, the facility can produce up to 50,000 coins every minute. Every coin starts as a plain metal disc known as a planche, with no design, lettering, or denomination. Before striking, these blanks go through multiple preparation stages to ensure the metal meets exact production standards. Inside high-speed striking machines, the planches are transformed into finished coins. Each press can strike roughly 400 coins per minute, using pressures of up to 180 tons to stamp the intricate designs into the metal surface. Once the coins are minted, they're poured into massive industrial containers and moved by workers to the next stage of production. There, the coins are automatically sorted, counted, inspected, and prepared for shipment. Every year, the U.S. Mint produces roughly 33 billion coins. Most of them enter circulation across the United States, while some are also produced for international contracts and overseas distribution. These high-speed minting machines can produce thousands of coins every minute. After processing, the finished coins are packaged and distributed to banks and Federal Reserve facilities based on demand from the U.S. Department of the Treasury. The cost of producing coins has steadily increased in recent years due to rising metal prices, energy costs, and manufacturing expenses. In some cases, certain coins now cost nearly as much or even more to produce than their actual face value. Historically, coins were made from precious metals like gold and silver. Today, modern U.S. coins are primarily manufactured using more affordable and durable materials such as zinc, nickel, copper, and aluminum alloys. As inflation has increased over time, higher value coins have become more common in everyday transactions, while lower value coins like pennies are used less frequently in daily circulation. Unlike coins from Denver or San Francisco, many Philadelphia minted coins historically carried no mint mark, making them harder for collectors to identify. The facility also produces special proof coins with mirror-like surfaces made specifically for collectors. Security inside the mint is extremely strict. Employees pass through multiple checkpoints, surveillance systems monitor production 24/7, and every batch of metal is carefully tracked. Before coins are released into circulation, automated systems inspect them for scratches, cracks, off-center designs, or incorrect weight. During peak production periods, the noise inside the mint can be so loud that workers rely on hearing protection throughout their shifts. The mint recycles leftover metal scraps from production, melting them down and reusing the material for future coins. The penny is still legal tender, meaning it can still be used for payments, and existing coins remain in circulation. However, the US has already stopped actively ordering new penny production for general circulation, at times due to cost concerns. Production has often been more expensive than face value. The main reason for potentially ending the penny is cost efficiency, since it now costs more than 1 cent to produce each penny due to rising metal, labor, and minting expenses. If pennies were removed from circulation, cash transactions would likely be rounded to the nearest 5 cents, similar to systems already used in countries like Canada. With most payments today happening digitally, the need for small coins like pennies has also decreased significantly. Supporters of eliminating the penny argue that it would save money and make cash transactions faster and more efficient, while opponents believe it could gradually increase consumer costs and remove an important symbol of US currency history. Any decision to officially discontinue the penny would require an act of Congress, making it a political decision rather than one made by the US Mint or the Federal Reserve. This is bullion coin production at the Philadelphia Mint, which focuses on creating precious metal coins intended primarily for investment rather than everyday circulation. These coins are typically made from gold, silver, platinum, or palladium, and their value is based on their metal content and global market prices rather than a fixed face value. But right now, you are watching how the production of a US passport begins. US passports are produced at extremely high security facilities, run by the US government, primarily the US Department of State. The process is tightly controlled from start to finish, and almost every step is designed around fraud prevention rather than convenience or speed. One lesser-known fact is that modern US passports are not printed like regular documents. Instead, they are assembled from multiple security layers, including specialized paper, embedded fibers, holographic elements, and laser-engraved personalization. The personalization stage, where your photo and data are added, is often done using high-precision laser engraving or inkjet systems, depending on the passport generation. The passport paper itself is not ordinary paper. It includes embedded security threads, UV reactive fibers, and watermarks that are only visible under specific lighting conditions. Many of these features are invisible in normal daylight but become obvious under ultraviolet light, which is used during inspection. Each passport book contains a unique serial number that is tracked through its entire life cycle from production to issuance. This helps prevent duplication and allows authorities to verify authenticity globally. Another interesting detail is that the pages inside US passports are not just decorative. Each visa page contains complex microprinting, hidden patterns, and security artwork that is extremely difficult to replicate without specialized equipment. The printing process also includes multiple layers of security inks, including color-shifting ink and intaglio-style raised printing, which you can actually feel with your fingers. This tactile feature is one of the quickest ways border officers verify authenticity. Finally, damaged or misprinted passports are never recycled into circulation. They are securely destroyed under controlled procedures to prevent any possibility of misuse. Now, let's take a closer look at how Swiss franc banknotes are designed and produced for comparison. This is intaglio printing, where the design is engraved, scratched, or etched into a printing plate made of materials such as copper, zinc, aluminum, magnesium, plastic, or even coated paper. Swiss franc banknotes are issued by the Swiss National Bank in denominations from 10 to 1,000 francs. Switzerland is unique among developed countries because it used to have banknotes that could expire and be withdrawn from circulation. Older Swiss banknotes used to expire after a certain number of years, something extremely rare. In a second silkscreen printing stage, a shimmering globe, featured on every new denomination, is applied to the banknote. A security strip with layered elements including green and red numbering is embedded into the note using heat and pressure through a foil application process. Modern Swiss banknotes are known for exceptional durability, sustainability, and advanced security design, often seen as a benchmark for the future of currency. On closer inspection, you can see metallic microlettering and denomination numerals that shift between silver and rainbow tones. After production, spot checks are carried out at the Swiss National Bank. Once quality control is complete, the banknotes are released into circulation. As you can see, the production process is very similar to what we've seen with US dollars and euro banknotes. Once the serial number is applied using letterpress printing, the notes are varnished to protect them from dirt and wear. The finished sheets are then cut into individual banknotes and bundled for distribution. Each note undergoes final automated inspection, and any defective pieces are removed from circulation. The Swiss National Bank has also withdrawn older series of banknotes after introducing newer, more secure versions. According to central bank estimates, counterfeit rates vary significantly across currencies. For Swiss francs, it's around 1 in 100,000 notes. For euros, roughly 1 in 20,000. For US dollars, about 1 in 10,000. And for British pounds, approximately 1 in 3,333. The 8th series of Swiss banknotes is considered one of the most secure in the world, featuring up to 18 security elements, including a tilting numeral visible only from certain angles, UV reactive details, and intricate microtext. Finally, the finished banknotes are packaged and prepared for delivery to the Swiss National Bank. Inflation trends in Switzerland have generally been lower and more stable compared to both the United States and the Euro area. In contrast, the United States has experienced higher and more volatile inflation in recent years, especially following major fiscal stimulus measures, supply chain disruptions, and energy price spikes. The Swiss franc is known for its strong price stability, largely due to Switzerland's conservative monetary policy and its central bank's focus on controlling inflation rather than stimulating rapid growth. As a result, inflation in Switzerland has often remained modest, even during global economic shocks. The euro area has also faced elevated inflation, particularly due to energy dependence and differences in economic conditions across member states. While the Eurozone and the US both saw inflation peaks in the early 2020s, Switzerland's inflation remained comparatively lower, reflecting its more insulated economy and strong currency.